Hello, my name is Russell Stewart. I'm a senior safety on the football team. I've been playing football since 8th grade, so that was around 14 years old, so for the past 8 years. In high school, I also played basketball as well as I ran track my senior year. As far as choosing football to play in college, it was just kind of a transition to that was the main program at the high school. I grew up in basketball as my favorite sport until around 9th or 10th grade, once really the high school football atmosphere took over, and I just enjoyed that a lot more. I would say the athlete I've most tried to emulate is Brett Murray here on the Washington Lee Generals. He's just been an inspiration, such a great team leader for all the guys here in the locker room, and I feel like if we can all just emulate Brett, we'll be undefeated and win a national championship. If I could trade places with one teammate for a day, I would choose Alex Evans. Alex has a miniature pet pig called Worm, and he brings it to all the Friday practices, and I usually get pretty jealous watching Alex run around the field with his little pet pig, and so I think that would be fun to do for a day. Off the field, I enjoy hunting and fishing, largemouth bass fishing as well as fly fishing for trout, and hunting mainly deer, but also like to do bird hunting a few times a year, quail, dove, ducks. So those are my two main interests outside of football. If I could have one last meal, I would just ask my mother to make fajitas. We're originally from Texas, and she's been making fajitas for as long as I can remember, and every time I go home, that's my one request for her, so that would be it. When I was a kid, I planned to be a professional basketball player. I grew up playing a ton of basketball, loving basketball. It was my first love, and so that's what I wanted to be when I grew up. If I could choose to play one position on the football field, well, I've definitely enjoyed my time at safety, and I think it's one of the best positions on the field. I would like to get back behind center for one last game. I played quarterback my first 2 years, and just would like to have another crack at it before I'm done here. If I was on The Amazing Race, I would choose Jake Pelton to come along with me. I feel that the thing I admire most in Jake is that he wears number 49 and somehow makes it look good, and I don't think you can say that about a lot of people. It's not exactly a very highly desired number on the football field, but so I feel like if he can do that, then I could trust him to do a lot of other things too. If I could trade places with Coach Abel for a day, the first thing I would do is I would run Brett Murray for the entire practice. I feel like Brett gets it easier than the rest of us, usually pretty banged up after games, but I feel like he's got some ground to make up, and so I would have him running sprints the whole practice. If they made a movie about my life, I would choose David Spade to play me. One of my favorite movies of all time is Joe Dirt, and I think David Spade did a great job of capturing that character, and I would think that he could do the same for me. There's not a single show that I live for. I don't regularly watch anything other than SportsCenter, but when I do get into a show, I usually tend to watch it kind of in marathon form, whether it's Dexter, Modern Family, Prison Break. I'll usually watch a whole season in one day. Just can't stop watching it, but usually don't consistently watch the same show week to week. I don't have any superstitions that are consistent every single game, but one thing I have done every road game this year is before I get on the bus, I buy a scratch-off lottery ticket, and right now I'm probably in the hole like $2, but I've won $2 or $4 here or there. It's just a fun way to start the trip. On the football field, I consider my best athletic attributes to be overall awareness and also my catching ability. I feel like when I was on offense, I feel that was one of my strong suits, and now on defense, I'm confident that anytime a ball is in the air, if it's a 50-50 ball, I'm confident that I can go down with it. I think the thing that makes W&L such a special place from an athletic, a student-athlete standpoint is the sense of collective focus and commitment that you share with your teammates, while also being challenged in the classrooms, and just the general student body. People are from all over the country and bring a lot of different perspectives to campus, and just kind of everybody that is at Washington Lee really wants to be here, you feel like, and that really says a lot about the type of school it is when people enjoy where they are.